The new year is always a reminder of goals achieved, but also dreams postponed. Don't waste another 365 days before starting your dream business. Do it now with the help of Shopify. Shopify has helped millions of entrepreneurs, from household names like Skims and Allbirds to first-time business owners just getting started. With Shopify, you'll have everything you need to sell online and in person. Their built-in AI tools write product descriptions and headlines and help you edit product photos. Marketing is built in too. Create email and social campaigns that reach customers wherever they scroll. As you grow, Shopify grows with you. Handle more orders, expand to new markets, and do it all from the same dashboard. In 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/income. Go to shopify.com/income. That's shopify.com/income. Hear your first this new year with Shopify by your side.
When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
Well, hello, and welcome to Riffs on Riffs, where I feel like we have a certain kinship with today's artists. We all know that Toby is not just a koala. He is the best of koalas. And I feel like I'm a mediocre panda. But I know one thing. we're not Bad Bunny. I can tell you that.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. That is for damn sure. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
And good night.
Good night. Riff Nation, how are we doing today? I hope this finds you well. The song that we are talking about today is the single called Baile Inolvidable, from Bad Bunny's 6th studio album called Debitará Más Fotos, which was released on January 5th, 2025. This is actually the 3rd single from this album. And man, I know we wanted to do Bad Bunny before the year ended. I know we wanted to do it. There's been a lot of conversation. Obviously, he's a big deal. We've known he's a big deal. No one's taking anything away from that. But him doing the Super Bowl, the halftime, is a big deal. Many reasons, and there's just a lot of talk about this. So even people that that Bad Bunny wasn't on their radar, he's on their radar now because of all the talk. So we wanted to talk about it. I mean, this guy's a tremendous artist. He just, to me, it feels like he came out of nowhere, even though he hasn't. He's been around, but it feels like he came out of nowhere. But his popularity is just,
This one surprised me because he was the top global artist, across the world, #1 on Spotify in 2022, in 2023, gave it back to Taylor in 24, and has just retaken it again in 25. So the most listened to artist in the world, which I feel like I've been missing a lot. Apparently I've been hibernating because it's real cold out there.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now. I feel like I've been missing out. Like, oh my God, how have I not checked out his albums, in the past? And, I've heard a lot about him, obviously. I know he's done a lot for Puerto Rico. He's done a lot for the people there. He's an activist on a lot of things, on LGBTQ issues. He has a lot to say. But I'm glad we're getting into talk a little bit about the music, and we can talk about all the other things, because this artist is really right up our lane. I feel like this is the type of artist that I love to talk about because he's complex. But the song specifically, this song Baile Inolvidable, it just caught me, man. It just took me back. It took me back to college. I don't know about you, but it took me back to college. Yeah,
I had a very specific connection, but not college. So why college for you?
No, I want to hear this. You said not where did you have this connection? Tell me. I must hear about it.
So there's I believe we talked about him on the pod before. There's a Lebanese French trumpet player called Ibrahim Malouf. Fantastic. I just love his stuff. And a few years back, he did a song called Una Rosa Blanca, the White Rose, I believe is what, I mean, I'm just going to apologize in advance for all the butchering of whatever Spanish attempts to come out of my mouth. I apologize. It is my ignorance and nothing more. And halfway through that song, I believe there's a famous poem that talks about extending kind of a white rose of peace or something like that. And halfway through the song, it's Obama talking about kind of opening back up American relations with Cuba at the time. And so it was this celebratory song. So there's that quote from Obama, and then it shifts into like all sorts of beautiful Cuban rhythms, some salsa, and it's just fantastic playing, and it just makes your booty wiggle in all the best of ways. And similarly, that's what this song does. You know, it starts in a certain lane, and about 30, 40 seconds in, it's like, nope, we're going full bore into our roots, into the salsa, and we're gonna go. And that just makes me super happy.
You know, so I will tell you like where it takes me. So Spanish was actually my minor for a brief period of time in college.
How did I not know this about you?
I have no idea.
Who are you? You're wearing a hockey jersey and you're telling me?
Yeah, I took Spanish all through high school. Really enjoyed the culture. Just enjoy learning about the culture, especially the literature. Like you don't get that until you get into higher levels, but it's just different. It's just different. It's like the difference between like an American classic and a classic from like a British classic and a Spanish classic. I mean, they're all great, but they're just different. They're just different. So, yeah. So it was my minor, and because of that, I had a group of cats I used to hang out with, and there would just be these parties that you could go to, and we just had so much fun. So, man, I was all into hip hop, of course. I'm all into R&B, of course, and I can cut a rug. But it's different dancing to salsa. Now, here's the beautiful thing about salsa is that there's people that know how to dance to salsa have no problem in teaching you. I mean, it's no problem. And it really takes, to me, it kind of takes a lot of the pressure off of trying to find someone to dance at a party, because everybody wants to dance. If you're at the party, you want to dance. And anybody can dance basically with anyone. And a lot in this culture, in this dance, the male leads, right? But I didn't know what the heck I'm doing. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. And there were these ladies who were so kind. It's like, yo, let me show you. And there's a way of dancing to make it look like I'm leading, but I'm not leading. She's leading me, And so I had so much fun with that. And then just also
pretty much every relationship.
Right. Make it look like I'm in control, but I have no idea what I'm doing.
Actually not. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not at all. Yeah. So, but after that, I remember going to a club in Columbus called Spain, and Spain was right around the corner from where I live. It was a Spanish restaurant, but on Saturday nights, that place would be packed, wall to wall with folks dancing, and it was, man, it's just beautiful just to watch people, and like, I've even taken some salsa lessons from time to time because I love it that much. It's dope. It's a good time. So it brought me back to all of that.
Yeah. I would love to take salsa lessons.
Make it happen.
I've had some missed opportunities over the years. We'll just leave it at that. But it's something that I think I would just love, honestly. Because I've always,
you should definitely go. And typically, and so now we're kind of segue into the video, because the video is very much like how that experience is. That it is a community of people that like to dance, and like, it doesn't matter if you come with a partner or not. Like, you're going to dance with everybody in that group at one particular time or another. And so, it's good. It has a certain level of sexiness, but also a level of respect, because it's just like there's space, and it's just, everybody's got to hold each other in a certain way. It's just great. It's just great. But yeah, you should definitely go if you haven't already. But the video specifically, which featured, I want to say, poet Jacobo
Morales, who's apparently a famous actor, director, icon in Puerto Rico. So right. I was looking up some of his movies. I was actually reading some of the
accolades.
No, I was reading some. I can't even remember the name of the movie, but one of his first, like, early kind of dark comedies. I was reading the synopsis of that, and I was like, wow, there's some hijinks going on in here. So yeah, I'm super curious to go actually check out his work from back in the day.
Yeah, I'm curious too.
But he's 91 in this video.
Man, listen. When I'm 91, I hope I'm in a room that looks just like that. You hear me?
You're right.
Because that was not a bad room to be in at 91, 81, 61, 51. It ain't a bad room to be in.
Yeah.
But I thought it was such, him having that nostalgic moment. And I think that Bad Bunny did a fantastic, whoever the director was that had that idea, did a great job at capturing that, him remembering the person who taught him how to dance. That was just wonderful. Well done. Made me even like the song more. And I loved it already. That's why I texted you, yo, let's do this song.
Well, okay. So lyrically, the song is clearly I wouldn't call it pining, but the acknowledgement of, this relationship has ended, and I'm holding this incredible space for everything that you taught me. You taught me how to dance. You taught me how to love. You taught me all these things. So whether it was an early relationship that was formative in that way, or whether it was simply, man, this was we've talked about this, the one that got away, right? Because there's a little bit of he's with somebody now, but it's not the same. And so again, there's an acceptance, I think, that comes through in this song. It's not like, oh, I need to get you back. It's just saying, man, I really appreciate that now. Maybe I didn't appreciate it as much as I should have at the time.
Yeah, no, I agree. That I think everybody's got those moments where you're looking back at, mistakes were made, right?
Mistakes were made.
But, I think, when you get to a certain age there, like you said, acceptance, it was what it was, and you are where you are. For whatever reason, it didn't work out that time, but you can still smile at what happened in the past and just reminisce. And I feel like yes, the lyrics definitely say that, but another thing that really helps push that point along is the style of the song. The song is done in salsa style, right? And to what I know, for what I read, this is one of the first, or the first time where he went full on salsa, right? And salsa is it's a genre that's existed, since the 40s, right? Incorporates jazz, Cuban music styles, all of that. So it's a mix. But I feel that since it's been around for so long, and the fact that people are still jamming to it, almost 100 years later, that is fantastic. I mean, how awesome is that? That this genre has existed and still present, still relevant. In fact, the one of the baddest artists on the globe is actually doing a song in that style. That's saying something. So yeah, it's gonna have a nostalgic type feel to it. I don't care how old you are, You good chance folks of all ages are going to be jamming to this.
Well, and what he stated for this album is he wanted to get back to his roots, and this is an homage to Puerto Rico, and like that is such an undercurrent, that music. And man, I could go down so many rabbit holes when it comes to kind of Latin rhythms and Latin styles, and I've always had, my exposure, and we've talked about this too, is, I grew up listening to Santana, and so all of those old records were kind of this amalgam of rock, of fusion, of Latin all over, percussion, and all that stuff that just seeps into your soul and makes your body want to do something.
Mm-hmm.
You can't passively listen. You're always actively listening to these songs, so your body's like, I want to respond. But what I've never really taken the time to do is, I can't tell you the difference between a salsa or a bossa nova or 15 other different kind of rhythms and styles. And it's one of those things in my old age I think I'd probably want to do, because I found doing the research for this show, one, I was like, wow, I don't know anything. Like there's so much that I need to,
Sure.
to like go and learn about and educate myself on. And I'm fascinated by it. It's just interesting. And that's, I don't know. Well, I don't want to deviate too far into other stuff yet, but I guess I love learning about new things, and whether it's people or cultures or yesterday I went down a rabbit hole on, I don't know, I can't remember his name, some scientist that was, he was equating music to like polygon, whatever. It's cool stuff. And the pushback that we're getting against other cultures is just, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yep, I don't either. We talked about this a little last week when we met up and we did some recording in person. We talked a little bit about this, about when something new enters the environment, how folks have a way of thinking that this new thing that there's only finite space and that this new thing is taking some of that space, when in reality there's infinite space. You just make more room. Culture is like Jell-O, people. There's always room. There's always room. And another food analogy that I'll make in regards to culture is that America, in my opinion, is like the best food court around. That's the culture. Because you literally can go in and you can find a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And the nice thing about food courts, especially if you go to like a big mall with a huge food court, it's got all this different types of food in there. It's got Italian food, it's got pizza, it's got Chinese, it's got, sandwiches, it's, Indian food is there, everything is there. And it's like, oh my God, Thai is there. It's like, oh my God, there's so much to choose from. And your group, whether it's people that you've grown up with all your life, everyone in general is like, I'm going to try this. I want this. And there's always a little person, I won't say a little person, there's always a person that is there to have, standing out there. It's like, hey, you might be a little bit nervous about trying this type of food and committing to this food.
Here's a toothpick.
Here's a toothpick, dude. Here's a toothpick. I'm not saying you got something in your mouth. I'm trying to put something there. This tasty little treat. And try something out. And I feel like that is the beautiful part about culture. You can dabble a little bit into this and that, and they all help each other, and they can all exist. The pushback against Bad Bunny has been sad. It's been really, really sad. And a lot of it is ignorance. A lot of it is just people being scared and just not thinking that we can make more room. It's all right if you don't know. If you don't know, you don't know. This gives you every day is an opportunity for you to learn. People are saying that this dude's not American. I'm like, sir, ma'am.
Pretty sure that it
he's
is
a citizen.
He's a citizen. U.S. citizen. Yep.
He's more American than some of the other halftime artists that we've had. Some halftime artists we've had, I believe, have been from overseas. They're not even American. So what are we talking about?
And like, this is about entertainment. Yeah, sure, it's the National Football League in America, but the halftime show is geared towards entertainment.
For the world.
For the world.
For the world.
Because pretty sure when the NFL expanded to going over to London and going over to play in other countries, the whole purpose was to develop a global presence. So honestly, Roger Goodell, it's pretty smart if you're like, I'm going to take the #1 global artist and have them perform at the halftime show. That's a great way to build your global brand.
Agreed. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, and I think that's why the NFL was almost dismissive to all the pushback. It was like, whatever.
As it should have been.
We are light years ahead, and we have money. We're the power brokers anyway, so whatever.
Yeah, it's going to be. I always look forward to to the halftime show. I'm always looking at that because to me it's interesting who they pick. It's this gives an opportunity for artists that you haven't heard or for artists that you would never pay money to see live for one reason or to actually see them in a live show, like to actually see them perform. This is not even the first time that this dude has been on stage during the halftime show. Because I want to say, wasn't it Jennifer Lopez that he was on her show?
I don't know.
Well, I know he graced the stage before, so and I feel like it's going to be a great show. It's going to be a great time. I got a lot of folks that are very, very invested in this show.
And it's the only time he's coming to the States, and for good reason, right? I mean, he's come out and said, "Look, I don't want my people being in fear coming to a concert." And we all know what's going on with ICE. And he's like, I'm just not going to put people at risk. And so he's just flat out said, I'm not coming to do I'm not touring in the U.S. And so this is the only time that he's actually coming to the States to do a show. I'll be very curious. I don't know. I'm excited for the halftime show, which oftentimes you're just kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't excited about The Weeknd. It was fine.
No, it was fine. But there were a lot of people that were excited about The Weeknd.
Sure.
There were a lot of folks that were. I wasn't. I know there were a lot of people that weren't excited about Bruno Mars, and I thought he did a fantastic job. Some folks were just like, And then last year with Kendrick's. I was very curious to hear what his song selection was going to be like. Are you going to do it? Are you going to do that song? You're not going to. You're going to do it? You're not going to do it. Next thing you know, it's like, I see dead people. I'm like, oh my God, he's doing it. Oh my God, it's crazy. So, yeah, Bad Bunny wasn't a headliner, but he did perform at the Super Bowl in 2020 with Jennifer Lopez and Shakira.
That's
so
right.
He was on stage with both of them. Yeah, I don't know how you forgot that.
Well, I wasn't looking at Bad Bunny. That's how I forgot that.
I know you weren't. I know you were not. But yeah, this should be a very. I'm looking forward to this and see what he's got. When you do a little bit more research on this guy and find out what he's all about, he is the type of artist that I really. That I like for multiple reasons. Let me tell you this. This dude is bold. Mm-hmm. He doesn't care about like convention, in my opinion. He's like, no, they're like, hey, are you going to do some songs in English? What are you going to say to people? He's like, I don't care. I am here. I'm here to do my music. You want me to come and perform, I'm going to come perform. Oh, yeah, by the way, people, this man he is very successful, as we've said. This dude, let me say this about the Super Bowl performance, unless I'm wrong, and I don't think I am. Super Bowl performance, you don't get paid for the Super Bowl performance. You don't. You do not get paid. That's
right. I think I kind of remember The Weeknd like ponying up $30 million or something.
Yeah, you pay. You pay to play. All your dancers, all your band, all of that. Yeah. You the flight over,
right?
All of that. So this dude is, you can, listen, this is a dinner reservation. You can at least show up and enjoy. You don't have to like the food, but you at least better show up and and just sit there and enjoy it and call it a day. I think it's going to be pretty amazing. So,
well, let's get back to the song. And kind of the through line is he does kind of maintain a certain level of independence, even in this song, right? There's a line that is a little bit risque, or
a lot risque,
and he's like, yeah, I know, the traditional salsa people are gonna be like, oh, he's ruining salsa, and he's like, but I wanted I didn't want to like just take it. I wanted to do something new with it, to kind of put my own flavor, my own spin, still respect it, pay homage to it, whatever, but I'm just not copying something, right? I'm taking it, and I always love when an artist takes all the influences and says, this is so inspirational, this means so much to me, here's what I want to do to kind of, because I'm also a new human with new thoughts and ideas, and I want to put the two together while still having that through line. I think it's so fun.
It is a fun track, man. I've listened to it probably 6-7 times since I first heard it, and I'm like, man, I just like it. And it's a track that's really, really hard not to move to. I'm listening to it yesterday, and Kaj was making dinner, and she just started moving, right there, right? While she's cooking, and I'm just like, I'm doing dishes and I'm moving too. It's like, man, this is good stuff. It's just good stuff. But I think putting your stamp on something, I think that, that's strong. There's nothing wrong with that. But he's always been, he's pushed boundaries before, both with dress, with his stage performance, lyrics. I mean, this guy, he's a true artist. Like, his whole origin story seems like he's just a true artist, a song that his friend took that he had done and just sent it up for people to listen to, and then like it got picked up, and this was like, okay, all right, never thought I was good enough, but okay, let's go. But if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it my way, and proceeded to do things his way. So
I think it's also speaks to the importance of being bored. So the origin story, he's working at a grocery store or something, he's bagging, and he's just bored, right? Because you're bored. And so what do? Is you start to occupy your brain in those spaces, and he starts writing melodies in his head, and he starts kind of formulating songs. And, I'm going to sound like old man, get off my lawn, but I think that it's necessary to create in order to have those spaces where your brain, there's always that mind-body connection if you're active. It's why you get ideas in the shower and all that. We talked about that. But the ability to just carve out that empty space where maybe you're being active physically, but you've just got that nothing else in your brain but to just kind of think and ponder and create. And I worry that we don't make, as a society, as a world, we don't make time for that anymore. We're constantly like, I've got 2 minutes, I'm going to pick up my phone and start doom scrolling or whatever, as opposed to just allowing yourself to be bored. We need to be bored more so that good things can happen.
I'll take it a step further. I'll just say, being still, just being literally being still. I think much like Bad Bunny during this time, I did a lot of my writing during when I was bartending and when I was working at the Honda factory, when I was working there for that period of time.
Again, something I knew nothing about.
What? I was working in the bumper paint department.
Gosh.
The bumper paint department. So literally taking something off the line and putting it on this machine so it could get painted. And, every once in a while it would shut down just for, stoppage or whatever. And those be the time I could hurry up, write another line, or just rehearse. And just kind of, since the line's going and you can't get behind, you had to memorize stuff. And so they're kind of working on your memorization skills. And the goal would be to come up with an entire verse, by the end of the shift, if possible. But again, just being still. And that kind of work, I didn't have to think about anything else. I didn't really, some people sat around and talked to other folks and whatever. Not me, man. I'm just by myself. I'm in my own world. But it's that stillness. I feel that you need that. And I that's why I look at some other cultures, when they have, siestas or that break time or these extended lunch times. I'm like, I think you need that. You're going to get a much better product, I feel, if you allow the brain. A much better work product is going to be produced if you allow people to stop for a minute. It
is 100% proven. You need the breaks. You need to pause. You need to take a lunch. You need to get out of the office. You need to go walk in the woods. Every great thinker that's ever existed has intentionally carved out time to do nothing, because you have to have the space for your brain to start doing whatever it does in the background in order for the good ideas to emerge. So, yeah. If there's one takeaway from this episode, people, it's just go do nothing today for, pick a half hour and just free yourself.
And don't feel guilty about it.
Oh my gosh, right?
Don't feel guilty about it. That's the hard part.
Real.
Yeah, that is real. It's like, I got to be doing something. Like, why? What do you have to do right now? And if you do nothing, I'd say that, remember during the campaign, I told you that I hurt my knee, right? Hurt my knee. And I was, in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, this is going to kill the campaign. I'm not going to be able to get out and do this, do that.
Sure.
And it's like, after a while, I was like, dude, it is what it is at this point. You just take a little bit of time, be still, and do other things. Just relax. And I remember just being able to sit down and just veg out, and it was just it was so nice just being able to veg out for a little bit. I didn't realize how much I was doing, with this, with that, with other things. You got to take that time out for you, for your brain. And also it allows you to show up a little bit differently. It allows you to show up better for the people that you care about also. So it's really important. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the music itself,
okay.
Or just his style. So you and I mean, I know I'm not. I don't think you're a big trap fan.
No.
And, he's been called the king of Latin trap and all of that. And I think that's why I missed the boat early on in his earlier stuff, because I was just like, I just wasn't feeling it. And I went back and listened to some of his older albums, and I didn't do a thorough run through. But again, I was like, some of these songs that are global phenomenons, and I'm just like, they don't move me. And I think for me, that what I realized after listening to his stuff is the guy can sing, but we don't always know that. And the connection I made today was autotune, I think, destroys the ability to hear voices the way they are. And it, to me, in my mind, it almost makes everything sound flat. It's weird because there's so much production whenever he sings. And to me, his voice is way overproduced. I get it. It fits definitely in some of the reggaeton stuff and whatever. Like it works very well for certain stuff, but I just want to hear him sing sometimes. Like the one song, Torita, which I think is a beautiful song. And he talks about how when he was in Puerto Rico and he was driving around and he's watching all these, tourists basically on the beach doing their things and having all the fun. And he said he literally broke down and started crying because of the disconnect, people coming in and the injection of wealth into the island. So this almost, dichotomy of the people who are living the tourist life and sure. taking, but have no idea of the history and the culture.
It's almost like gentrification.
Very much gentrification. Absolutely. And that's a big concern.
Mm-hmm.
And so he writes this beautiful song, and you can feel the emotion and the passion in that song. And it's a great song, and it's still like, man, I just want to hear your voice sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, what happens when that autotune is you start to get, the movement in the layers, right? Because it's trying to kind of, when you're using it as an effect, which he often does, it's mm-hmm. creating kind of these overtones. So there's it's a little bit sharp, it's a little bit flat. It's like, harmonized, whatever, oscillating, mm-hmm. whatever. And to me, it always just eventually just sounds monotone. Mm-hmm. And it, like I was really kind of listening to just the music instrumentation. Like there's some beautiful production. There's some great choices. There's some really good music here. And then sometimes because of the repetitiveness of his flow and because of the repetitiveness of the sound, it just kind of eventually all sounds similar. Mm-hmm. I don't know. And I think that's what's kind of kept me at arm's length. And I want to get in a little bit more, but I feel like there's something in the way. It's probably just me. I'm in the way. I'm the problem. It's me.
Well, I mean, trap is not my thing. We've talked about this before. Yeah. I'm just not a big fan of trap. I'm really not. But I do think, you know, there's trap artists and then there's an artist that use trap, you know, and I think that, you know, I think obviously the song that we're focused on is a single today. You know, it shows that this dude's he's got range. I mean, I think this, you know, he has a humongous range. So I feel that, I think that he used it right. It's just probably not the thing not my type of jam per se. It's just trap in general, you know, but, that's a generational thing.
It is. Yeah.
You know, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. I mean, I meet people and it's amazing to me. People that don't like jazz. I'm like, what? How can you not? I'm almost offended. Like, how could you? What? But you know, people are just like, no, that just the improvisation, with the horns and all. I'm like, you know what? That's fine. It's fine. It's all good. But you know, it's almost like, what is it? Is it parsley? No, it's not parsley. It's what is that leafy vegetable?
Kale?
No, it's not kale. It's man, what is it? Anyway, some people taste it and taste fine. I love it. Cilantro.
Yeah.
And other people
take
it. I love it too. Other people have it and they're like, it tastes like soap or something like that.
Yeah,
it's so weird. And it's like, and I feel like sonically, I think that is how some of this music hits other people. Trap hits me in a way I'm like, I'm not feeling it. Unless you do something crazy to it, I'm not feeling it. You know,
but even if you look at jazz, I mean, there's certain kinds of jazz that I love, and there's certain jazz that makes me want to put a stick in my eye, right? So, you know, if I'm at the dentist where there's hopefully nothing going into my eye,
hopefully not,
but you know, there are implements that could cause such peril,
of course.
But you know, and if there's the smooth jazz is going on in the background, it's like this is just making a bad thing worse. But you know, if you get so. And I would assume I certainly have done enough listening to trap to understand the nuances, but I bet you that there's different parts that I might be able to get into if I gave it the time. I'm just not giving it the time.
Yeah, I mean, Future had the song Mask Off, and I think people would assume that was, people would categorize that as trap as well.
Yeah.
I enjoy the shit. The hell out of that song. I love that song.
Well, there's an edit.
There you go. Yeah, my bad. So Future has that song, Mask Off, definitely categorized as trap, and I enjoyed that song a lot. I think it's a good song. I think it's a good, you know, it was just different. Maybe it was the musicality around it, you know, or whatever. I liked it, you know, but you know, it's nuance, what we like and what we don't like. It's a nuance thing. Food is the same way, you know, depending on what kind of spices you're putting in there, depending on the presentation, you know, it's everything is nuanced. It's even hard now to say, it's hard to say I don't like any genre of music.
Sure.
That is, I caught myself saying, like, man, I'm not saying that anymore. Because every time I say that, someone shows me something that I actually like. You know, like, there are some country songs that I absolutely like. I absolutely like that song. I absolutely like this artist, and so forth and so on. I've been to Tennessee a couple of times. I've been to Nashville specifically. Mm-hmm. And man, I've seen some country artists perform. I mean, Kaj and I went to the Grand Ole Opry, and man,
oh yeah.
I was like,
heck, if you're in Nashville, you walk into any bar 10 feet away from the next, and there's some ridiculous talent on stage.
Insane talent. Yeah, insane. People you might never even heard of. Might just be some local favorites. And
All of them trying to make it big.
All of them trying to make it,
all
and
of them
just
uber talented.
Put on a show,
Yeah.
like whoo,
Yeah.
you know. And same thing with you can go to Detroit, go to Cliff Bell's club here, and hear fantastic jazz. You know, people again that you might never even heard of. So yeah, I'm getting out of that habit. I'm not saying I don't like any particular genre. I'm always willing to sample something, and I think that's one thing about our friendship. I think this is great. I hear something, I'm like, yo, have you heard this? Have you heard this? Have you heard this? The latest one being that dude Dijon that I was telling you about. Like, oh my, I saw him on SNL. I'm like, who is this? Who is this?
Well, you sent that over this morning, so I played that, and then of course Spotify oftentimes does a pretty good job of just playing the next stuff, and I'm like, I'm out there in the driveway in the snowblower, and I got the noise canceling headphones, and I'm just letting it run. I'm like, I wish I didn't have 7 pounds of gear on, because I want to save this track and I want to save this track, and like, because it just kept going, and there were different artists, and I'm like, I don't even know what to call this, what genre this would be, because I think so many genres are just fluid at this point, and we're just making music, thankfully. But it's so fun. So now, yeah, you gave me a new one to go check out. I'm like, I don't know who this Dijon guy is, but cool. I like it so far.
Yeah, they're calling it R&B / soul, but it's almost like that neo R&B.
Yeah. Is this
not
the new neo soul? Is this? I feel like we're gonna have to come with a new name, because people like to label things.
Yeah, but he's doing something now that I feel is different than like your standard cats now, because he's grown up in the age of the bedroom producers, right? These bedroom producers. So these cats are using samplers on stage, right? And he's messing with stuff on stage. So it's not, and because of that, there's an element of surprise and newness that can come and say, I'm watching. I'm like, he's triggering samples right now. He's cutting that off. He just cut this. I'm like, okay. You got me. I'm very, very curious to hear how the rest of your album feels. But regardless, his performance is top notch. So I guess going back to Bad Bunny, I think that I'm very curious to see what his performance is going to look like, because to some, not to all, but to some, this will be the longest period of time that they've listened to anything close to this type of music, or listened to him as a whole. And I think he's going to put on a show. I am firmly convinced that this dude's going to do something. He's going to try to break some records here. So,
and I'm curious, because for this song, I mean, he intentionally brought in very talented young musicians, to be authentic to the style, to kind of bridge the gap between previous generations, the new generation, with salsa and whatever. And so I have to believe that there's going to be some just crazy talented musicians on stage. I don't know. I do feel like it's going to be epic. Yeah.
I think that the connect, one thing that if he got up on stage and he did, if it was like you said, if it's overly produced, with a lot of his stuff, his older stuff or whatever, trap, whatever. And so it's samples, it's this, that, and the third playing. But if he can like meld the world of actual like instruments, right. Instrumentalists,
live
performance, live performance.
Things. Yeah.
I think you're going to win a whole bunch of other people over just on the musicality alone. And that's why I think that this song, I'm hoping that this song actually gets performed on stage, because I think it's the perfect song for that. You could do that.
Oh, I can almost guarantee this song will be performed.
All right. I like it. You heard it here. You heard it here, Riff Nation.
Can we talk about frogs, Toby?
Yeah, we can.
I love frogs. Did you know that about me?
I did not. I did not know that.
I'm a big, like, if I see a toad out in the garden, I will always pick him up. I will always let him pee on me. Well, I don't. I just kind of move them to the side so they just pee on the ground. And then I feel bad because obviously I freaked the poor little toad out. But I think they're just so cute. And so then I've just taken to like taking selfies with toads because they make me happy. And so when I was watching, Spotify has those little reels, right?
The short,
they have the toad that is kind of in each one of the songs.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I learned that the coqui is kind of a national treasure over in Puerto Rico, and that the toad in the videos is actually a sapo cancho, which apparently is a endangered species on the island. And so, again, this cute little thing in the videos, and if you're doing a flyby and you're not really paying attention, you don't understand maybe the context and the importance and the statement that's being made. And I love that there's layers and there's thinking and there's he's leaning into things that he believes in and saying, I'm putting this into my music. And music is always, when it's done well, been a staple of that. I have something to say, I'm going to say it through this because it can reach a larger audience. And I love that he's carrying that torch forward.
I love it too. Because I definitely was curious, why the toad? Why the toad? But then realizing the symbolism. I mean, because that's what art should do, right? Art should make you ask questions and make you do a little bit of independent research. You took another 5-10 minutes, you Googled a couple things, and boom, there it is. So it's not. That's the part I like about it. It's intentional. It's strategic. Layered. It's beautiful. It's right, and it's teaching. So it's an education moment, as well. And I think that's something that people can appreciate. Here's the other thing too. I will say that, I don't speak fluent Spanish. I could look at the name of this title of the track and I figured it out. Okay, yeah, I got that, or at least I know the gist of it. But he speaks way too fast for me to understand every line. Yeah. Well, I will say that YouTube has so many videos of translation. So if there's a song that you like, you can find the translation anywhere. It's nothing. My sister-in-law, she doesn't speak fluently in Spanish either, but she loves Latin music. She loves it. And she has so many, she's all these playlists and these songs. She always introduces me to a lot of these different tracks. And I know that she doesn't understand every word, but I know that she can, we can always go back and do the research, find out what this song is all about. And to me, that struck me, that it was very, very similar. Once you learn what the song's about, whatnot, what the focus is, it's very similar to a lot of hip hop songs that you didn't understand every single word or every single line. It's when you do get the lyric sheet, it actually allows you to love the song or appreciate it on a different level, on a deeper level. It's that is different. That's dope. And I like this for this as well.
To me, it's akin to listening to vinyl. When you pull out a vinyl, you used to read along the lyrics, you'd look at the art, you'd pull out the insets, you'd go through, if they have multiple pages in the inset, and it was an experience. And so there's layers. There's layers of immersing yourself into it. You're hearing the music, you're listening to the lyrics, you're reading the lyrics, you're looking at the pictures, you're trying to sense, is there thematic elements, what's going on? And I remember, I think it's off Supernatural, getting back to Santana, right? Well, I've got the Moonflower album sitting right up here. And there's I'm trying to think, Florida Luna, Moonflower. That was one of the first songs that I taught myself how to play. I've got this beat up acoustic. I've got an old cassette recorder back in the day, right? Where I'd literally play a few bars, stop, rewind, play it, and just, that's how I learned the song. Mm-hmm. And so in those formative years, I started to make a connection to things I don't understand. I don't understand this music yet, but I love it and I want to figure it out. Sure. I don't understand the words, so I want to know what they mean. And, and then off of Supernatural, Primavera, beautiful song, and it means spring, which is my favorite season. And whenever I listen to foreign language songs, that's part of the unpacking is, okay, this moves me. I don't know why it moves me. Mm-hmm. And the music is getting me, and the emotion that is being conveyed is getting to me somehow. And then it's almost like an Easter egg. It's a big surprise. Mm-hmm. You go back and you read the translation and you're like, oh, that's what I thought it was, or that's not at all what I thought it was.
Right.
But it's like it's an additional kind of like way to immerse yourselves and enjoy the music, which I think that's kind of the beauty of non-English for me, I guess.
Yeah, it's really, like foreign films, I think that they do it for me too. Like if you watch a foreign film, like subtitles and all that, it's like it's just a different experience. I think a lot of times with American movies, at least for me, I've watched so many movies that there's a good chance that I'll be able to predict the outcome. Right. And I'm not necessarily talking about Knives Out, because I couldn't predict that. But like in general, with movies, I can predict what's going to happen. But foreign films are just, they're coming from a different angle. You have a whole cultural aspect of it that I am not as privy to. Like I'm ignorant of. And it's like, wait a minute. I don't know how this is going to end at all. Man, listen, Bollywood films, if you want to cry, listen, if you want to just make sure that your tear ducts are working, all right, there are some Bollywood films that I could make a list of wow. These films are amazing. Now granted, it's 3-hour journey, but I'm telling you, it is so worth it. Like, whew, there's some good ones out there.
Toby, I have to circle back to this because many dozens of episodes ago, I believe that we talked about the movie RRR. And you brought up how your mother-in-law was telling like the furniture person, and I think she called it XXX or something, and he was like, whoa. So I watched RRR.
Did you? You didn't like it?
That's a thing, Toby.
Look.
You talk about like just over the top.
Way over the top. Oh, yeah.
The top. And just leaning into everything from, bombast at every level. Like the color grading, the action shots, the dialogue, that like, it's to your point, it's 3 hours of this. And you're just like, how do you not leave the theater exhausted?
You're tired. You're so tired. You're emotionally spent. But yeah, that's how those movies, they're action films or something else. I mean, I don't know, but at the same time, yeah, it is definitely over the top. It's
like
ridiculous.
Watching a live comic book.
Very, very, totally agree. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But it's different than like what you would watch here.
Oh, totally different.
It's different.
If you're doing a who's the guy who does Transformers, or Michael Bay, is that
Michael Bay?
That's very over the top and explosions and all the things. Yeah. So that sort of way of doing things is very different than Bollywood. But it's the same sort of like level, but they're just the approach, the outcomes, it's fascinating.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, I mean, you can look at the Mission Impossibles too, for that matter. I'm like this. Look, I'm 51 and my knees hurt just watching some of those stunts. Ain't no way in the world. Ain't no way in the world. But hey, people come and they line up, they pay the ticket, pay for a ticket and go watch that, and so, yeah. I mean, it's, but again, if you're going to be, it's different over the top American and over the top Bollywood or over the top French movie or over the top whatever. It's different. It's different. And, it's all art, and there's a time and a place for everything. Sometimes I'm like, I'm not in the mood for anything over the top. And sometimes, like, what's that movie by Chow Yun-Fat? Killer? I don't know if you ever watched that before.
No, I don't know.
Oh, my God. Classic, dude. Chow Yun-Fat. This dude, director of a couple of movies I really like. One of them's called Killer, and it's like it's like you play those video games where like it's one man, like almost like Contra, where like you're just like, there's no way, dude, stop it. You've killed like hundreds of people, right? And this dude's coming out with not a bullet scratch me. Some of the best action scenes, though, for its time. I mean, the movie had to be made in, let's see, Fat Movie Killer. Let's see when that movie, I want to say was it the 80s? The Killer, okay, 89. Yep. It's made in 89. It has such an impact, though, that Wu-Tang.
Mm-hmm. I was wondering if that's, yes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Wu-Tang used it because everybody was watching it.
Yeah.
In fact, even on the Wu-Tang, on the actual album, it's like, yo, you got my Killer tape? Yo, you got my Killer tape? Because people were just like,
yeah.
So that's what they're talking about. They're talking about this movie. It's fantastic. It's just great. The action sequences, actually, so it's directed by John Woo. So John Woo was the actual director there of that. But anyway, it's totally over the top. But they do.
Sometimes you need that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that pure escapism.
Yeah.
And kind of like, oh yeah, I could do that. I could totally do that.
Right. So.
Well, I think the other thing that I appreciate about Bad Bunny is he just takes breaks. Like, he will just disappear from social for a little bit. He'll just scrub his account. He'll just go away. And he's talked about how, that is just kind of for his own sanity, recognizing that I need to kind of disappear from the public eye as much as I can, because you really can't, and protect my space. I think he said that he's still got just a few close friends that he grew up with, which I just think is normal. Like, there's people you can trust because they've been there for the whole way, versus all the people that want a piece of you and I think that's one of the songs on the new album, right? Is, talking about a relationship where it sounds like she was cool with dating Bad Bunny, but maybe not getting underneath the surface to find all the other stuff. And it's a challenge that we hear. It's one of those where it makes me a little bit glad that I never got famous, because that sounds. I mean, every artist talks about at some point where your soul just disappears into this void of fame and people and everybody thinking they know you, but they really don't. And but I love that he's at least attempting to do some things to protect that space, which hopefully gives some longevity. Go ahead.
Oh, for sure. It's interesting when in my position, you talk to folks that have risen in the corporate ranks, right? And they get to a certain position where they're director or whatever, where you have colleagues at work, but they're not necessarily friends, right? It's hard to be, for some folks to actually befriend people that, that report to you. And it's a beautiful thing. That's the nice thing about like networking groups. Because it doesn't matter. You work for a completely different company. We can actually get to know each other business wise, but in a more personal way as well. Because being at the top is lonely. You run your own business.
Super lonely.
I
talk to leaders all the time. The higher up you in the food chain, the more lonely it gets.
Sucks. Absolutely sucks.
Yep.
So but it's good to. I'm glad that he does that, though. I'm glad that Bad Bunny has got, she's smart enough. He's a young dude. He's smart enough to unplug, and he knows that he can do that. Like, dude, he's Bad Bunny. So yeah, he got a new album out. Okay, cool. After the halftime show is over, the dude could totally disappear.
Yep.
Totally disappear.
And might.
And then come back with the post like, hey, yo, album's coming out in 15 days. What? Man, not in 15 days? What? And next thing you know. So, yeah. Well, I think that we've talked about all the things, at least enough of the things. I hope people are curious enough to check it out. To check out some of his music, to really check out the song. Watch the video. I'm telling you, the video is pretty, man. It's a cute video, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's a feel good.
It'll make you smile.
It'll make you smile. So, but I wanted to say another thing that's going to make people smile. Joe, tell them about the music that we recorded last week.
That was so fun, and hopefully we'll get this out in time so that you can, if you haven't heard it, you can get a listen. So. The listeners voted and said, holiday song, let's do the Christmas song, which you and I, Tobe, that's one of our personal favorites. And so I will say one thing. They don't write songs the way they used to. So sitting down with this track and figuring out kind of and you were mentioning jazz, there's just some beautifully tasty jazz chords just moving behind the song. And I think most people are familiar with the famous version by Nat King Cole. And I applaud you, Toby, for saying, I'm going to take a stab at this. And man, we had so much fun laying this down. And, you know, it was a treat to kind of get back in the studio with you again and just lay down, watch your brain process as you're like kind of working through the harmonies in your head and laying down those tracks. You know, unlike Bad Bunny, what we attempted to do with this was really make it, my goal in mixing this and producing this was like, I want it to be like a warm hug. I want this song to feel like a hug, which means that we had to really put your voice front and center and just feel kind of like Toby sitting next to you singing. And I hope we achieved that. So it's on Spotify, you know, Silver Foxes. Go look for the Christmas song, give it a run through. I've queued it up several times. You know, I was putting stringing lights around the tree, and I was like, I want to hear Toby. So it makes me happy.
Well, listeners, let me say this. Joe's guitar playing is fantastic as well. I think it worked. It was such a great pairing, just a great pairing. And the song is not an easy one to play. I don't like when you listen to it, but you sent me over the instrumental. I was like, ooh, okay, yeah, this is going to take a little bit of practice on both ends to make sure that we got this. But it was a lot of fun. We've gotten some really good feedback from it. People seem to like it and to dig it. So, yeah, we've even gotten some requests on doing a Christmas album potentially in the future. Some requests for that, so you know, who knows what the future will hold. But we're definitely going to put it out. I know we got it out on Spotify. The group is Silver Foxes. The song obviously is the Christmas song. There's 2 other tracks that are there too by the Silver Foxes. That's Joe and myself and other guests, if you will. So yeah, check it out if you get a chance. And with that, I think we've accomplished everything that I really wanted to accomplish.
We're going to hop on out of here.
We're going to hop on out like a Bad Bunny. You know, that's what we're going to do. Joe, as always, a pleasure. You know where you can find us, Riff Nation? Hey, we are on Instagram. We are on Facebook, right? And we are on YouTube at Riffs on Riffs, right? That's where you can find us on all those different spots. Appreciate you. Certainly, if this is, I mean, I'm not sure when this is coming out. Is this coming out?
We might bump this one ahead of some other ones we have in the works.
I think that might be if we do it. So in this case, this will probably be the last time we get a chance to talk to you all before
the new year. That's right.
Before the new year. So, hey, whatever this year was for you, I'm hoping and praying that this next year will be that much better for you.
Yes,
all right.
Please.
Yep. Let's continue to learn, continue to evolve, step intentionally into what this next year can bring for all of us. Want to wish everybody a happy new year, happy holidays, happy all of that stuff, all that goodness, if you will. Joe, you got anything to say?
That's it. We'll see you in the new year, and thanks for listening. Huzzah! Oh wait, we already did it.
My name is Percy Jackson. Getting in trouble is like breathing for me.
The hit series returns to Disney Plus and Hulu.
The danger is greater than you can possibly imagine.
What about Grover? Save Grover. Save camp.
Percy Jackson and the Olympians. New season now on Disney Plus and Hulu. Learn more at disneyplus.com/what's on.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day. Yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.